Hello everyone, this is Ashish and welcome back to Momentum Podcast. Is one of those Momentum podcasts where I take your questions, and I've recently sent a community post asking tell your questions, and I'm going to answer it next Sunday. So it's that time, and if you are having more questions obviously along the way, you can put it down in the comment section. I take care of that. Obviously, every now and then there will be guests. I have a lot of guests planned up for Momentum Podcast. You're going to get to learn a lot. This podcast is 100% focused towards career, so it is definitely going to help you build a better career. But every now and then, it is my duty to take your questions personally. So let us begin. The first question I'm having over here is by Anayata Rao. How to deal with studying at home when there are a lot of distractions. Roommate can be ignored, but family can't be. I share room with my siblings. So obviously I've been in that situation also, and I tried to bring this topic up in front of Gunjan sir and see how Gunjan sir answers, and he answered perfectly well. Matter of fact, he brought a lot of things that we could have never thought of. But yes, let me put my personal opinion towards it as well, that what you should be doing if you're facing such kind of problems. Now Anayata, I'll say you one thing, that you're wrong, that family members cannot be ignored. Actually they can be ignored as well, and I would be saying that it is very necessary to do that. Now, number one trick that every now and then I tell people, but I've never talked about it, summarizing it in one video, so let us discuss in this podcast. That is, you try to study at night. That definitely works. When I was preparing at my home, and I've given GATE 2016 sitting at my home only, at least for 1 month I was at my home. Not 1 month, I was for 2 months at my home. In GATE 2017 also, 1 month before the GATE examination, I was at my home only. So I do know how I used to prepare. I used to prepare mostly at night. Now definitely it is going to hamper your biological cycle, but you can fix that, let us say 15 days before the examination. And right now we all will agree that we are way too far away from the examination, right? So at this stage, you can focus to study at night. If the situation is too bad and you are getting too much noise and some problem or the other by your family members, right? Especially when the siblings are younger brothers or sisters, it is going to be an issue. That is one tip, that you start studying at night and study till, let's say, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and when the noise is highest, you are actually sleeping. That is not going to be that much of an issue. Use earplugs or use cotton in your ear. I've done all of those. Matter of fact, I even bought that headphone that factory workers use now. I used that when I was at BARC training school to put it on my ear to keep the noise away. Another way is using white noise, that you are going to find hundreds of them on YouTube itself, or there are some apps also that are going to give you white noises. Basically what white noises are is that they are going to play some random sound, let us say airplane sound, or let us say sea sound, seashore sound. These kind of things are going to play in your ear continuously, which are not going to let other external sound besides you. What this does is that this repetitive sound actually does not disturb you, because every time we are having some sound or the other. Right now there's the sound of the fan that is running around over here, that is coming in my ear continuously, but it is not going to cause any problem because it is repetitive and my ears are just going to neglect it. I'm going to tell you this. You know, lifeguards that are sitting in front of sea or are there where the swimming pools are there, what are their purpose? They're there to save lives, right? If someone is drowning. So the problem is that if they keep on looking at the same place now, let us say that person is looking at straight. Even if a person is drowning right in front of that person's eye, that person won't be able to find out that someone is drowning over there. You know why? Because that eye is trained to neglect whatever it is seeing for a long time. That is how our senses work. So that same thing happened. That is why what lifeguard will do is they're going to continuously sweep here and there, get themselves distraction, so that they find out any changes in whatever they are sensing. In a similar manner, your ears also work, that they are trained to sense change. But here we are going to give it whatever is constant, so that it does not figure out the change that is outside. So what I'm saying is that this white noise will be cancelled by your ear, and at the same time this white noise itself is cancelling what you're hearing from outside your earphone. So that is also definitely going to help. So tip number 1, study late at night. Tip number 2, use those ear muffs if possible. Or tip number 3, use white noise. These are the things that you can do. Now coming down to the practical aspects, obviously there will be siblings and there will be parents, and if your parents are giving you work every now and then, explain them properly that it is not possible right now. We are preparing for competitive examination. I've always said that your family actually has to work as a part of your team, that ultimately we all will be benefited, right? If you are going to crack the examination, the whole family is going to get benefited. So you have to let them know that it is a teamwork, and if it is a teamwork, you guys of the you team members have to do things that I cannot afford to do right now. That is another thing that you can do. Your younger brothers and your younger sisters, I would say that instead of shouting at them or showing your anger, sit them down properly and explain it to them properly. Otherwise, there are always other things like, I do not know in this COVID situation that is possible or not, but a lot of people used to get membership of libraries, because library is probably the best place for you to study. I've done a lot of work in library back when I was in college, back when I was in BRC training school. That definitely works. Otherwise, I also used to do this when there were too much noise. Like I said, I was preparing for competitive examination from home also. And 3 days before the examination, there are guests at the house and there's always a problem. So I used to go to the terrace and study over there. There's always a solution. I'll tell you, there's always a solution. When I was living in a PG in Delhi, there used to be power cuts every now and then. And Delhi heat, everybody who has been in Delhi understands. Now the situation is better because of the whole situation. The climate is actually improving. But back then it was hot as hell. So what I used to do is that I used to go to the terrace, but the problem at terrace is the sun is scorching right now. So it is not possible to go to the terrace. So what I used to do is I used to study at the staircase. What I'm saying is there's always a way out. So you have to find, and please don't give excuses. I'm very happy that you brought this question up, but there are n number of solutions that I can give. There's always a way out. And I thought, all right, I was able to answer 16 likes over there. I think that I was able to satisfy the curiosities of all 17 of you. Moving to the next one, Radhe Krishna asks how to avoid negative environment, negative people who somehow are interrupting studies. Okay, see, now these negative elements I'm going to generalize. There can be n number of negative people. Maybe your friends are negative, telling you that there is no use of preparing for these competitive examination. Look at the success ratio. And maybe your parents are giving you negative influence, that what are you doing, putting a lot of pressure on your head. There can be so many sources of negativity. Matter of fact, when you're struggling, now this is how I say, if you're standing over here, let us say level 5 of life, let us break down life or happiness level into 10 levels. Let us say you are at level 5, you are not in a war prone area and you have gotten proper education. So I would say you are already at level 5. Level 10 would be somewhere where Jeff Bezos is. Let us say all you want to do is go to level 7, a better life, getting a government job or something like that, being self-sufficient. So you are at level 5, you're not alone. You're having thousands of people at level 5, and the world or the universe works in such ways that people around you are going to be adding shackle to your leg. They don't want you to go up. Even if they don't actually want it, this is the subconscious manner the world works. This world works on inertia. You have heard of inertia, right? So this is what we call homeostasis. Everything wants to be where it is. My camera that is shooting me wants to be where it is until and unless there's some external disturbance. When it comes to human beings, that can be created internally as well, and our will can force ourselves to move from where we are to where we want to get. What I'm trying to say is everything around you will try their best to keep you where you are. But your job is to fight against that. Your job is to go against the grain, go against the tide. When you're trying to get to some place better, let us say level 5 is the bottom of the waterfall. And level 7 where you want to get is, let us say, top of the waterfall. You have to literally swim against the tide to get over there. It is not going to be easy. The whole world is going to cause hurdles in front of your way. They're going to give n number of reasons why you cannot do it. Your brain itself is going to produce so many questions to yourself, but that can be answered. You are going to get thousands of voices that are saying that you cannot do it, but you need only one voice to tell you that you can do it, and that is your own voice. And trust me, even if there are thousands of voices that are telling you that you can do it, and there's only one voice that is telling you that you cannot do it, and that is the voice of yourself, then there's no way that you're going to do it. All right. So external factors don't really matter. The negative environment doesn't really matter. There's only one positive that you need, and that is yourself. And you have to constantly fight this. Preparing for examination or trying to make something big in life is about a lot of things. Yes, hard work does matter, but mental aspect is huge. That is why I've made so many videos on mentality of toppers, or the mentality aspect in general. You can find a playlist also where I talk about the mental aspects. That is there because that is huge. That is very, very important. You go where your mind thinks that it is going to go, and that can be proven logically. So what I'm saying is the environment does not matter. If you have to move from level 5 to level 7, cut yourself, cut all the senses that you're having from whatever the environment thinks, it speaks, or whatever it is telling you what is right or what is wrong. I'll tell you, everything that you're told is wrong. If there was any way to actually tell you what you have to do to become successful, you won't even be able to understand. That is something that you manifest by working hard, by struggling, by going against the tide. And that is what I'm saying. You literally have to swim against the direction of the river, right? So once you do that, you will automatically understand what actually works. If the world tells you that this is how it works and this is what you are supposed to do, it is wrong. Or it is at least wrong from your perspective, you won't be able to understand. So I'm not telling you what you're supposed to do. I'm not telling you what you're doing is right or wrong. I'm telling you to struggle and just don't listen to people around you. You have to get isolated. This is the only way, because no matter what, 1,000 other people are also at the same level. No, you're going to level 7. You're not going to find even 1 or 2 of those 1,000 over there. People don't work like that. Most of the people, most of the population live their whole life in homeostasis. Where they are born, that's where they are dying, because people, it's bloody difficult to change. You understand? So how to avoid negative environment? Just don't listen to it. A lot of people will be making fun of you. A lot of people will be planting those seeds of negativity or doubt, self-doubt within you, where it's your job to keep on fighting against it. All right. So I hope that I was able to answer that question. Who asked this question? Question was from Radhe Krishna. Okay, 10 likes on this one. Moving to the next one. If you have any doubts, any questions, put it down in the comment section, and we are going to discuss that as well. The next one is from Atmik Rathore. In good companies, PSUs, ISRO, BARC, DRDO, does interviewers ask about internship? What if one have not done any internship in his graduation or her graduation? See, this is a very important question, and I would like to discuss the importance of internships when it comes to placements, or when it comes to government jobs, when it comes to interviews in general. Personal experience, I have done 5 different internships while I was in BTech. All right, I've done one in Tata Motors. Tata Motors. One I've done in Tata Cummins. 2 I've done in Heavy Engineering Corporation, and 1 I've done in SAIL Bokaro. Okay. Also, I've done a lot of designing softwares. I've done a lot of courses. I've sat in BARC interview and cleared it. I've sat in ISRO interview and cleared it. I've sat in 5 different campus placements. And trust me, nobody actually asked me about my internship. There was one interview, that was IIT Bombay interview. I've sat over there and I have cleared that also. And they did care about my internship. And that is what I'm saying. Internships are important, but to a limit. Internships are not supposed to be done like 5 throughout your BTech. You're supposed to do at least and at most 1 internship. If you trust my words, 1 is definitely necessary. 1, there's huge chance that even your ISRO interviewers are going to ask that, what did you do for your internship? That is your 8th semester when it comes to BTech. 1 internship is extremely important, because that is going to be asked every now and then. 50% of the interviewers are going to ask about that. It's not that important in your campus interviews, because your campus placement are mostly in 7th semester or sometimes even in 5th semester. But one internship is definitely important. But a lot of people will be investing a lot of time in doing so much internships, and that is not actually necessary. Nobody actually, if you ask my experience, BARC interview, I've always said that in BARC interview, the internships are or your major project is never asked. In ISRO interview, 50% of the times it is asked, but in my interview, it was not asked. In IIT Bombay interview, I said that they asked me. So you are getting a good experience in IITs also. So it is important that you do at least one internship. Okay. And some people try to do too much thinking that it is going to help them. It does not help much. They are going to just focus on, even if they ask it, it is just going to focus for, let us say, 5 minutes. More than that, it is not necessary. Now, let us talk about software skills that a lot of people learn. See, it is not going to matter. All that matters is the skill that you learned, and they're not actually look at your certificate and think that you're better than others. It does not work like that. If you're good, your skills are going to show it itself. The thing is that you can learn those softwares through YouTube also. There are a lot of free online sources also. I paid a lot of money. I think I paid somewhere around like 15,000 to 20,000 to get a full master's degree. I learned 7 softwares. It included CATIA, CAD-CAM, ProE, whatever. I think it later converted into Creo. There was Solid Edge, Autodesk Inventor, whatever you can name for mechanical engineering. I've had an experience with that. But I spent that much money, I got the degree, but I did not actually learn those software through those dumb coaches that were over there teaching me. They did not have any experience. What I learned mostly was by practically applying those scenarios. For example, my 8th semester project was on IC engine, and I learned how to handle computational fluid dynamics by my own, by just going through free videos online on YouTube and all. And then in my BARC project also, final project, that 4th semester project, was on computational fluid dynamics only, and there was a new practical case that I was able to solve using that computational fluid dynamics. So your personal experience, once you start solving physical practical problems, then only you are going to learn a software, and your learning only matters. Your certificates do not. Now, a new trend I'm seeing is that there are a lot of websites, a lot of even colleges that are doing online courses. A lot of people are asking, doing this course, they are actually giving certified courses that they're going to give just PDFs of the certificate, and your name is going to be written over there. Does those certificate matter, or these courses matter? No. Ultimately, your knowledge matters. What you learn, that's matter. The certificates do not matter at all. Even NPTEL is giving a lot of courses. Students ask me, should I do it? If you want to learn, then you do it. Just for the certificate, don't do it, because it's going to be waste of money, because most of the time in interviews, they don't even see those certificates, right? So I'm telling this straight up with experience, because I've not discussed this ever. That is why I'm discussing it over here. So keep that in your mind. If you want to learn and you think that the source is good enough to be learned from, then you can do. Otherwise, I would say it is waste of time and it is waste of money. Better focus on your competitive examination preparation, because that is also very, very important. All right, moving to the next one. Aman Razia. How to handle the emotional blackmail from parents and other family members. Like I said, ignore it. Okay, so I've talked about this, the negative environment and all that. Your parents are part of it. Unfortunately, most of the cases that is the case. I have not seen any Indian parent that is going to be so supportive while the student is preparing. That is actually very, very important. The parent support matter a lot, but if that is not supportive, all you can do is ignore and keep your eyes towards the money, focus towards that. Okay, funny question. Moving to the next one. VNM Ashish G, that's too much respect. I'm not very acquainted to that. Why consistency is hard to achieve in studies? Because of full-time job, I'm really struggling to maintain consistency. Can't able to study same hour every day. It is common in everyone. If not, what makes toppers to be consistency till the examination? How to keep long-lasting determination in the journey? See, determination is one of the very few things that cannot be taught. and one of the very few things that people try to achieve the most. Determination is like, a lot of people will be saying a lot of things, that my problem is determination, my problem is consistency, my problem is passion, my problem is being happy with what I have. These are the things that only gods have achieved 100%. All right, and I'm not over here telling you guys how to achieve, but these are just like general problem. 1,000 people are watching this video right now, then every one of them will be having a problem with this to certain level or the other. All right, now determination cannot be taught, and people seek it, and that is why there's so many motivational videos trying to get you determined, and we all know that does not work more than one day. You're going to need it again. It almost becomes like a drug, and you watch it again, and give them millions of views. But it does not work at all. Motivational video does not work at all. Like, they will be putting thumbnails like, this video will change your life, and this thought will change your life. The one thing that I wish I knew when I was in my 20s. These things are garbage. People are wasting way too much time trying to get motivated. I'll tell you how determination comes. Determination comes by you deciding what you want to do, by you understanding that you have taken it to your ego, and you understanding that what am I going to do if this does not work out, because you literally risk everything to go for that. Now, if you have not found something which is worth fighting for and worth risking everything that you have, then the determination is never going to come. All right. Now, I've talked about this before, that how to find your passion, and all it comes down to experiencing life. If you do not have something that you want to fight for, something that you want to risk everything for, experience life, try to do new things, and whatever, even if you think that you want to achieve that, take it to your ego, that if I do not do that, my whole life is waste, and work extremely hard for that. Even if you do not, or you're not able to do that, you're going to find something that you want to really work for along the way. I've always said this, ups and downs actually creates what you want to achieve. Friction creates fire, fire creates enlightenment. I've said that, right? So working hard, going against the tide is actually going to let you find about something that you really want to work hard for. That's when the determination comes. It is not something that can be trained. If you experience life, you are going to find out on your own. Okay. So these things are very intangible, and people are talking about it, that watch this video of 5 minutes and you're going to find out how to be determined. That does not work for a reason, because nobody can teach you that. There's a reason why the greats did not actually write books about how to be determined, because they understood, they knew that it is not something that can be taught. And also the law of 0.1% is work. I've said this, right? No matter what you do, 99.9% of the people will remain average. Why? Because the world needs average people. Because the world needs the common things to be done by average people. And this is how it works. That out of those 99.9%, some of those will be determined to be different, determined to do things differently. Those are the people that will come to 0.1% no matter what. No matter what the world says, no matter what their parents says, they're going to do it. This is how the world works. And if you want to do that, then start doing different things, start struggling. Struggling itself is different than what most people do. Most people will just want a chill life, but this is what they do not understand, that unless you struggle, you are not going to be happy. But that's my philosophy, whatever you want to take it as. But if you're asking how to maintain consistency, I've made a couple of videos on consistency available both on Hindi and English. This went more to the philosophical side. Matter of fact, the last 20 minutes that I've been talking, most of it went to the philosophy side only. Maybe I'm going to name this video Ashish's Philosophy or something. Talk philosophy. I think that is better. Okay. Now, I've talked about consistency in a more systemized manner, that you have to make plans and to-do lists that will make you be consistent. But determination, I cannot make any single video in which I'm talking mathematically. Determination is something that you have to find. It cannot be taught. Over a phone call also, it cannot be taught. All I'm going to say, even in telephonic consultancy, is that you have to work hard. You have to work hard. You have to go through those ups and downs. And over time, you're going to find something that you think is worth doing. And you yourself will automatically develop determination. Okay. All right. Moving forward to the next one. Sorry if I disappoint you, V&M, but I don't think there's any person available on this planet that can actually make you determined. Okay. Or there's any video available online that can make you determined. You have to do it on your own. When you find out what's worth doing for you, according to you, you'll be determined automatically. Okay, moving forward. Is there any different way of reading questions? Yeah, this is a technical question and I wanted to answer this for the longest time. Matter of fact, I did answer it in one of my very old video. It was called Ask a Scientist. I used to just solve questions that people were giving me long time ago, but now I'm going to break it down. Okay, could be top to bottom, could be reading what needs to be found out, then questions. Okay, or first looking at the option C. This is same for how you should be doing. Let us say there are 4 lines of a question. Okay, actually, matter of fact, I'm going to open the pen tab over here so that you get an idea properly. Okay, or not required. Let me just explain over here. It's going to be simple only. All right, let us say there are 4 lines of questions, and after that there are 4 options. Now you read the question word by word, but it's not like some people will saying that read the question twice and read it with utmost importance or with high concentration. Yes, definitely have concentration. It's not like you are going to read it 2 times or 3 times, or once you read the question only then you're going to write the data. Most of the question you are going to get a hint or an idea about what the question is all about. You see the values, you will automatically understand what formula you have to apply most of the question. But there will be some questions that will trick you because of that. So that is why I always say never have preconceived notion before reading a question. But whatever data is there, that is there. All right. So on your rough sheet, you can keep on writing the data. Okay. For example, diameter D is equal to 50 mm, torque T is equal to this much Newton meter. You keep on writing those things. Okay. And then once you've read the question, this is something that you have to do twice. Read the last line of the question twice, because that is the most important part. That is the part that is actually telling you what you have to find. And that's something that you should write, that dash, this is what I want. And the new, the unit, for example, Newton meter or Newton millimeter or pound meter, something like that, whatever is the unit, that is very important. Especially GATE examination tricks people in this one. So the data given, you have written. The final answer, what is asked, you have written, and the unit in which you have to give the answer, that is written. All right. The next important step is that write the elemental formula. That is what I named it, the elemental formula that is going to give you the value that you're looking for. Write it down full. In engineering services examination or SRO examination, you won't be having sufficient time to do this much. You have to be much faster, but especially in GATE examination, you have to write the formula, because that's again some place where people make a lot of mistakes. All right. You have written the elemental formula. Okay, very good. Now the next thing, put value one by one in that elemental equation. You have put the value, this much torque, this much diameter, and you have put everything. This is the moment of inertia, polar moment of inertia. You have written everything. You have put the value. Now you speed up. Now you solve everything as fast as possible. Most people do opposite. They do the first part very fast and then they are stuck and then they waste a lot of time. But if you build this base very fast, very slowly and carefully, then there is no chance for you to make mistake. That is the birth of silly mistakes. Most people make mistake because this base part. Do this very slowly. Number 1, write down the data that is given. Number 2, write down what is asked in the question very slowly and read it very carefully. The last line of the question, read it twice. Number 3, write the elemental equation. And number 4, put the value in that elemental equation. Now move as fast as possible. Now you open up the virtual calculator or you do the hand calculation as fast as possible. People don't actually make mistakes in calculation. They make mistakes in the above part where they are writing the formulas, where they are putting the data. That's where, and every data that you have put, you should put it along with the units. Some data will be in Newton meter, some will be in Newton mm, some diameter will be in mm, some diameter will be in meter. It's your job to convert it all in the same unit, whatever you're more comfortable in, right? So these are the steps, and once you put the answer, move forward. This is another mistake that a lot of people do. A lot of people will be solving those questions in a half-assed manner. Like just, okay, I'm going to come back and I'm going to revise. That never works, because that is actually you're giving double the amount of time to a particular question. Let us say a question is supposed to be given 2 minutes. You are saying that, okay, I'll solve it in just 1.5 minutes and then I'll revise it again for 1 more minute, right? So it is actually taking 2.5 minutes. All right. So this is the mentality that you should definitely develop. Obviously, in GATE examination, you'll be having some questions that does need to be revised. Those are the marked for review questions. But in at least ISRO examination or engineering services examination, you won't be getting any time. Trust me, you won't be getting any time, or any PSU examination, because over there one question is for 1 minute, right? So try to solve it once, try to solve it properly in one go. In GATE examination also, mark for review questions should be as less as possible. Develop this habit. This habit was finally when I developed this, then I was able to crack ISRO examination, because I was always in this tendency that I'm going to save half an hour at the end and I'm going to use it for revision. Never helped me, all right, because that half an hour was never there, and whatever questions I solved, I did not solve it with full concentration, and because of that I always used to make a lot of silly mistake. So understand this properly. You have to solve it once, you have to solve it perfectly. That is why concentration is very important. While you're solving questions, your mind should not go anywhere else. All right, I think I was able to answer this 100%. If any questions, put it down in the comment section. Can I get a good rank? And by the way, some people might be listening to this podcast on Spotify or Google Podcast or any audio platform also. There's no place for you to put comment. I'm actually talking about the comment section of YouTube. Okay. Now next, can I get good rank of less than 200? I had started my preparation this month being September. Please reply. It would be good and very helpful. Fake account. Okay. Mr. Fake account, or Miss Fake account, or Mrs. Fake account, or Dr. Fake account, whatever it might be. See, you cannot, most likely. But then again, this question is very, very vague. I honestly hate these kind of questions because it depends. If you're in computer science, you can, because over there competition is different. If you are, let us say, in physics, in bioscience, or if you're in metallurgy, you can. In aerospace engineering, you can. In mechanical engineering, you cannot. In civil engineering, you cannot. Electronics and communication engineering, you cannot, because like I said, you have to have proper revision strategy. You have to complete the syllabus, and these days the competition has gone so high that everyone is completing 100% of the syllabus, right? So that's my answer. It is a subjective answer, but if you're in core engineering field, then definitely I can say that you cannot. In that case, I would say that do not aim for under 200 rank. I would say that aim for 50 marks. And that 50 marks you can definitely aim. I've already made a video on get at least 50 marks in GATE examination, and do follow that video. And that's about it. Fake account. Moving forward. Batakala Manindra. Sir, I am from mechanical. Very good. At least you mentioned that, unlike the fake account. Right now, PSU are conducting their own examinations. Very good. True. So I'm a bit disturbed whether to prepare for PSU examination or GATE examination. I'm interested in masters. So I need your advice. Now, I like these kind of questions because they are going to mention everything. That person said that this is my aim. That person also mentioned this is my branch. And this person also said that this is my problem in just 2 lines. This is how you're supposed to put questions the next time I do the community post, or you can put it down in the comment section as well. See, if you're interested in masters, then there's absolutely no doubt that you are going to prepare for GATE examination, because only through GATE examination you can get masters in India. Now, if you're thinking that you also want a job, then you do not want actually masters, but you can still keep masters as your backup. If you do not get a job, then you can go for masters. Pretty obvious, right? So in that case, GATE preparation, see, GATE preparation or GATE syllabus is the subset of every other exam syllabus. It is having the smallest syllabus, okay? So what you need to do, you are already in mechanical engineering, you need to solve all the engineering services previous year questions of the subjects which are common with GATE examination. All right. So obviously you are not interested in engineering services. So I will not say that go for any subject that are not in GATE examination, but are in engineering services. Then go to ISRO previous year questions, and there will be some subject topics like compressible flow, which will be important for fluid mechanics, or sorry, for Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, but won't be important for GATE examination. So cover those. And in BARC examination, the syllabus is 100% same as the GATE syllabus. So you do not need to worry about that. And for PSUs, you have already solved engineering services previous year questions. So it will be covering your PSUs. So what I'll say is definitely 100% cover GATE syllabus. Then cover the topics which are coinciding, which are same in GATE and engineering services. Solve all the engineering services previous year questions of those topics. For example, for mechanical engineering, theory of machine, heat transfer, thermodynamics, power plant engineering, fluid mechanics, it keeps on going. You can match the or correlate the syllabus. All right. So once you've solved that, that is covering all the PSUs. More than that, if some random topic comes in PSUs, you won't be getting sufficient information or study material to cover those. So all I'm saying is cover GATE syllabus 100% and cover the topics coinciding of GATE syllabus and engineering services syllabus, because in PSU, short questions, 1 minute questions, 1 marks question are going to come. So you are ready for both. Okay. All right, moving forward. Global Feed, very old follower, very loyal follower of all my YouTube channels. Hi bro, good morning. Good morning. Actually, it is evening. Good evening. If possible, please tell about new startup, how to take first step, and what max startups are, why maximum startups are failing, how much maximum investment should be allocated in startups in starting stage. Okay, now Global Feed has asked the question in the best manner possible. I like these kind of people who are asking questions in a very clean manner. All right, okay, so we are going to start. This question is actually divided into 3 parts. Now, how to take the first step? The first step of a startup would be the idea. What is the idea? That idea can be converted into business. If there is a problem, if you know the solution, that can be converted into a business. So you can do anything, but the first step is idea. And the second to the last step will be execution. And execution can be from you working hard yourself 14 hours a day, to you hiring people properly, to you paying them, to you making everything properly, then to you expanding everything is execution. So I would say there are only 2 steps for a startup. Number 1, idea, and number 2, execution. For example, let me take an example of my startup. My startup is guiding people for personality development. My idea is that same. I have to teach people how to improve their personality, and for that I need some quality that I have on my own. You can judge my speaking skills by just listening to this podcast, and other skills of personality development I have down my sleeves. Okay, so that is my qualification, that I do have qualifications in that field. Also, I am certified by Dale Carnegie and all that. So I have everything going good for me. That is the idea. Then comes execution. Execution is something that I'm doing right now. I'm making podcasts in 5 different fields. I'm making podcasts on career that you're listening to right now. I'm also making podcasts to space science and technology, Spacecast, that is on my Ashish Ranjan channel. I'm also making podcasts on martial arts that is named Torq Talks. I'm making podcasts on my life history on it's named Torq Vlogs. And I'm also making some videos on art of speaking. Now, in all those places, maximum like 60% of it is me talking about different topics, but people are actually listening to me and understanding that this person is actually good at this. And when they know that my mother tongue is not English and they see me talking in that language so fluently, they understand that there is something that I can learn from. So I can direct them to my channel Ashish Ranjan, where I guide people with personality development. There they are going to watch few of my videos on art of speaking, and they are going to learn a lot from them. Some of them are going to be interested in joining my seminars. My seminars are offline also and online also. These days, because of pandemic, most of my seminars are online. So they want to join online seminars. They're going to buy the tickets. I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to give them back a lot. I'm going to learn, and they are going to learn. They're going to improve their lifestyle, and I'm going to expand this whatever I'm doing, right? So in my way of business, there's no investment. But the investment I did in 6 years of developing my own personality, to which people want to learn from. So money does not matter when what I'm trying to do. But when, let us say, you want to make a product. A few days ago, only some people came to me of an idea of a new calculator. I'm not going to get specific because it has not been released. So they came for consultancy to me that how we should go ahead. Now that definitely requires a lot of investment. You're going to hire a lot of people to make that calculator. People have to do investment to program what is the program going on, and then the marketing comes, and you have to basically do sponsors and all that, so that people find out about it. Then you have to go from college to college to find out about how many colleges want to implement that. All right. So they definitely require investment because they will have to hire so many people. So if you want to do something like that, then I would say that better get into job first, unless your parents are super rich and want to give you a lot of money. Do a job first, save a lot of money, and then you can invest in that. But before you quit your job, have proper plan of, okay, this much amount of money is required. Always have 2 times the amount of money that you think is required. Quit your job and then start working on that day and night. That is how startups go. The next thing, why maximum startups are failing. Maximum startups are not failing now. They have always been failing. Maximum startups always fail. This is the nature of startup. Why they are failing? Number one, people who are doing startups, a lot of them are actually doing this just to escape their 9 to 5. They want to be their own boss and they're not actually passionate. The idea that I said, no, the first step, that has to be like my idea of developing something which is related to personality development and spread it throughout the world. That is me. That's how I see that it has to grow. That is me. That idea is me. So I'm dedicated towards that. Most people aren't. They are doing startups just because they think that they are going to become millionaires. They are going to become billionaires and people are going to like them and they're going to become famous. I personally never care about money because I know that this is something that I like doing and I'm going to enjoy it. Matter of fact, the tickets of my seminars, I'm actually keeping it like more than 60% below the actual cost that I should be charging people. But I'm not, because that is actually giving me exposure, that is giving me idea of understanding people, of what problems people face while talking in English and what personality flaws most people have. So I'm learning from that also. That is also an investment. So I do not need to get everything in terms of money. That experience is also something that I'm getting and is worth my time. So I'm not 100% focused towards money. Another reason why most startups fail is that these entrepreneurs start all of a sudden living like they are so rich. I personally, if yesterday only I found someone who knew me. That person, I was just leaving my gym. That person came to me and said that, hey, I'm following you on Instagram. You are Ashish Ranjan, right? I said, yes. How do you know? Said, I've been following you for a long time. And if that person comes over here, maybe he's watching this video, that person, if you ask him what I was doing, I was wearing slippers that is 1 year old. I was in shorts because I was in gym. I was wearing a tank top which is at least 1 year old and a jacket just to prevent myself from cold. I came over there on a second-hand scooty that I just bought for 20,000 rupees. I'm living pretty cheap. Why? Because I do not care about these fancy things. I do not want to go to the bars and show that I'm very rich. That is where most people make mistakes, that they join this whole momentum of doing some startup because they want to become very rich. And yes, there's nothing wrong if you want to live a rich life, but you have to stay poor for most of your time while you're doing startup, at least for like 1 to 2 years at least. These days, things are becoming easier for entrepreneurs because of the whole online world and all. So you are going to get comfortable pretty soon. But earlier it used to take like 5 years, 10 years of hustle and struggle. But you have to be humble, you have to be modest, and you do not have to waste money in things that does not really matter. I could have easily bought a very expensive bikes. For example, a lot of my colleagues that are right now in ISRO, before leaving ISRO, they are driving very expensive, like lakh rupees spent on just one bike, or thousands of rupees spent on their dresses. But I never cared about that. That is the mentality that you have to develop. The patience is extremely important. If you really are doing something that you want to do, then you are going to be patient, that you are not going to be in a hurry, because you are having the rest of your life and you are going to enjoy the process. So what is the hurry? Another thing, a lot of people are not taking care of quality. A lot of people are just in a hurry. I want to make it big in just 1 year. Even if you make it big in just 1 year, you're going to fall pretty fast because your root is super broken. It is weak. You're going to fall extremely fast. You're not building something that is going to be sustainable. It's not possible. It takes time. So when it comes to today only, I was making tickets or invitation passes for those who have joined my seminar. I invested a lot of time in that. I gave proper information and I even said that I'm going to return every money to you back if you are not finding any improvement. You know, I'm going to give you my example because that is what I'm doing right now. My personality development webinar is going to be of 4 sessions. Okay. It is going to have only 5 people in one batch. I'm going to only talk to those 5 people. I'm going to monitor each and every one of them. You know, every one of those 5 people, they are going to record themselves speaking 6 days a week. All right. Now, those 6 recordings, I'm going to listen each and every one of them 100%. So I'm listening to 6 people 6 recording of 5 people, that is 30 recording. I'm going to listen to them in a week. And also I'm going to talk to all 5 of those on Wednesdays, that these are the mistakes that you're making, work on that. The next week they come and I'm going to teach them accordingly. And this goes on for 4 weeks. Now, that is extremely high amount of work, but I'm doing it because quality does matter. They are going to get the recorded version after the class is over. They can listen to it as many times. And that is why I can ascertain that they are going to find improvement, because I'm working hard. I'm working to create the quality, and I want each and every 5 of them to go 10 years down the line, be experts in the field of speaking. That is the quality that I want to create. Quality matters a lot. I could have done a seminar with 50 people also. I could have earned 10 times more money, 50 people. But do you think I would have been able to give the quality to those 50 people? No. That is the thing. Quality versus quantity. I do not care about quantity. I care about quality. And see, 7 months down the line, I'm doing pretty good. I've done everything that I wanted to do that day I left ISRO. And I've done it better than I thought. And I've worked on the new ways that I did not even think of, because I've always kept quality above quantity. Okay. So other than that, the last one, how much maximum investment should we allocate in starting stage? See, when it comes to for example, I started 5 different podcasts, then the amount of investment that I had to make was close to this. Mic costs 20,000 in this time, somewhere around, let's say 1 lakh rupees investment. But I had saved 2 lakh rupees before I left ISRO. Okay. So that was in my mind that I have to buy all these lights, because you see that the studio has completely changed. I used to make very simple videos earlier, and now it is professional, right? So that was the investment, 1 lakh rupees investment for me, which I saved during my job. But it depends completely differently for you. If you have to create product, then I think your savings are not going to do sufficiently for you. You are also going to need a lot of investors. And that is what they do. They get investors going to invest. They're going to give them lakhs of money and they're going to execute. But the problem is that the investors are going to have share of your company. And that is something that you can live with if you're creating products. All right. So if you're having a lot of investment, let's say 10 lakh, 20 lakh investment, then you need investors. If it is like 1 lakh, then you can do a job and save the money. Okay. All right. Global feed. I think that we have cleared 100% of it. How many questions? Okay. 2 more questions left. What I do when a question is not solved? Best approach. See the solution. Okay. Here's the thing. This is a very old thumb rule that if a question is not solved, try to solve it for 15 minutes. Okay, so ultimately what you want to do is solve a particular question in 1 minute for every other examination other than gate examination, or you want that question to be solved in 3 minutes for gate examination. But initially when you have just started preparation, it's not going to be like you are already at that level. So you have to start slow. So even if it takes 10 minutes or 15 minutes for you to solve the same question that is required to be solved in 3 minutes in gate examination or 1 minute in ISRO examination, let us say, you should not be worried. But what you should be worried is that you are solving that question on your own. So you're investing your time, you're running your brain to solve that question. All right. And ultimately that time is going to reduce. Now it is going to take 15 minutes, then it's going to take 10 minutes, then it's going to take 5 minutes, and ultimately you're going to reach where you want to be. But whatever question you're not able to solve, invest time. Initially, it does take a high amount of time, and over time it is going to decrease and the number of questions are going to increase. But initially, that's where you start. But more than 15 minutes, you should not be investing, because there's a high chance that the question is wrong or the concept that is involved, you have not even studied. Right? So 15 minutes is the thumb rule. You can solve that. After that, if you do not find the answer, number 1, do not see the answer. Discuss it with friends. Discuss it in various WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, wherever you can get, because discussion actually solidifies that concept better in your head. All right. So you have discussed. If you still do not get the answer, then look at the solution. And once you look at the solution, you put a star mark over there at that question that you are going to cover over, let us say, one month or something like that. I've talked about parallel revision. I've talked about cyclic revision. That is how you improve. Okay. And then you solve that star mark question again. And the questions that are not having star, you do not need to look at it again. All right. And even if you took like 15 minutes to solve a particular question and you solved it on your own, you still need to give it a star mark because you took way too long. If you're able to solve it in like 5 to 10 minutes, then definitely do not give a star mark, because you're going to become better as you solve more number of questions like that. All right. Okay. Shubham Kumar, moving to the next one. Okay. Sumir Nandan, does No Fap affect studies and your experience with pornography? Okay, see, this is a question that is highly demanded. We all know that almost every other Indian YouTuber who's talking to students have already made a video on this. I decided to not make a video on this because I think that No Fap is bullshit. Why I did not make a video on this? Because there's almost a kind of cult going on that is saying that No Fap is something that you need. All right. I personally have practiced No Fap for 6 months. All right, so let me talk about that story. And this is never going to come as a clip. I want only people who are listening to the podcast till the end to understand this, because those are the people who believe me. Those are the people who are going to listen to me with an open mind. All right. Okay, so it is important for those people to know my opinion, and I'm not just going to make a random video that is just going to be clickbait, because I know that most people are not going to understand my perception. So back when I was in third year or so, I tried No Fap for 6 months, all right? And then one day I jerked off and almost my penis used to hurt for 2 to 3 days. It does happen. And I've seen a lot of videos on this No Fap, and they are actually talking in a way that your body is going to hurt for a long time, but you have to overcome that. You have to resist that. But I think that it is super bad for your body. I really do. Because if something is hurting you, then there's a problem. Okay. So I tried it. I did not find any significant change in my mentality. Like, people are going to say that you are almost going to reach God-like level. After that, I never followed. Okay. And some people are so crazy. I've watched a couple of videos. I was thinking that I'm going to make a video on it after doing sufficient research, but then I saw so many people talking logically about these things and getting so much hate. I understood that some people can never be taught. Okay. And the worst thing is that you cannot prove it. Some people are saying that I've been practicing No Fap for 1 year. What is the proof? Can you prove it? Can I prove that I've practiced No Fap for 6 months? No. Maybe they're jerking off like twice a day and then making a video on No Fap that it works. Do you understand? Also, this sells. A lot of people are actually going to watch that video because this is something that very few people are going to talk about. But I'm going to only talk about these things to people who are actually honestly listening. That is why I'm discussing this thing at the end of the video. And for the longest time, a lot of people were requesting me to talk about this, and I think this is the best way that I can talk about it. Okay, so I personally believe that it is biological nature. And yeah, that's what I was saying, that I also saw one YouTuber saying that you should have sex and not ejaculate. That is the weirdest thing that I've ever heard. Blue balls can hurt you real bad. All right. And I do not know, man, how far it is going to go, but I was afraid that it is going to cause impotency. I did, because your dick is hurting, man. What are you doing? Seriously. Right? So that is what I experienced. Unlike a lot of people who are talking that No Fap is bullshit, I actually practiced it before it was anything. Like, I did not watch a video on No Fap and decided to practice it. I decided to do it because, growing up, there's a lot of guilt, and a lot of people will be saying that you should not do this and you should not do that. And a lot, like, even sex is so much, like, people are not going to talk about it. That is why a lot of people don't even understand how to have sex and all. And they're going to hurt the female, and it's going to be a nightmare for girls and like that. But it's necessary to sometimes talk about this. Whatever you want to say, like I said, there's almost like a cult going on, and No Fap is going to make you God. It is going to help you improve the concentration. It is going to help you improve the efficiency. All I know that it is going to hurt your penis. Okay, that is something that I experienced it personally. And then I started, what is the frequency? Obviously, you please understand, if you're jerking off like 2 to 3 times every day, it is bad for you. And I should have given a disclaimer before this video started that girls should not listen to it, because it is completely different for girls. Okay, masturbation for girls is also a thing, but as far as what I know, that girls can go for like months without having ever problem, and there are a lot of girls who would never masturbate, and it is not doing anything for good or bad for them. And there will be girls who would masturbate, and I do not think there's a problem. One problem is that if girls are getting too much addicted to masturbating, or they are getting that experience of masturbating too much, then what will happen is that they won't be able to enjoy sex. All right, because it is obviously very difficult to please a girl during sex. It is difficult for a boy. Okay, because I'll tell you, these are the things that I've never talked about, but the average time for a boy to get an orgasm is somewhere around like 5 to 10 minutes, and average time for a girl to get an orgasm is somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes. So that is the reason most of the time girls are not satisfied. So if you add that girl is also masturbating, then it is going to be very difficult for girl to enjoy sex. Okay, that is one thing. But for boy, I do not think that there's any problem. Like I said, if you're jerking off like 2 times, 10 times every day, that is a problem. Jerking off every day will also be a problem. Okay, what I would say is that once a week or twice a week will be good. And do not go creepy, like I'm going to mark it on calendar and this day I'm going to because see, there are a lot of variables over here. What are the variables? How much you worked out, how much you ate, what you ate, and what you did throughout the week or throughout the day. Depending on that, the body demands some time for you to have sexual pleasure. And this is another thing with No Fap. What about those people who are not having girlfriends? Those boys who are not having girlfriend, they cannot have sex, and you are telling them to not touch their penis for like 6 months or 1 year, whatever. It might go to infinity. I do not know. And what the hell, man? It's seriously like either you are going to find some problem with your penis, or you are going to touch it and you're going to get an orgasm. That is super bad for you. That is bad for your partner also, if you do get a partner over time. And what I would say when it comes to jerking off for boys is that do not care about it much. Do not care about it. That's what I think. Get the natural cycle, like 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, wherever you feel like it, you can do it like a gentleman. Okay? But ultimately, I would say that it's your decision. These are my experiences. These are my opinions. And I did pretty good with academics also. I did pretty good with sports also. And yeah, that's what I would like to say. This is a topic that I never talked about it, but I've shared everything that you need to know. Okay? Very few people would have been able to reach the end of it, but this is the most authentic information that you can get. I really do not think No Fap is going to do any good to you. And I also really do not think those people who are talking so loudly about No Fap is actually doing No Fap. There's a high chance, like there are a lot of people on YouTube that are motivating are actually depressed behind the camera. There are a lot of people obviously that would be talking about No Fap that are jerking off 10 times a day. It is a problem for those who are addicted to porn and all. But you have to overcome, and I think that you can overcome it by finding a purpose in life, man. Try to find out something that you want to do. Otherwise, I cannot just chant a mantra and you are going to get rid of that. Find something you want to do. Find anything that you want to do and work extremely hard, and through that you're going to find something that you want to do. All right, so with that, if I offended anyone, I'm extremely sorry, but these are my personal experience and personal opinions. If you respect that, good. If you like it, take it. If you don't, move it. And I'm going to end this podcast over here. I hope that you learned a lot out of it. If you have any more questions, put it down in the comment section. Before I go, listen to Talk and Fire podcast, doing extremely well. I do it with my friend Komal, and we do it every week on Saturdays. It is coming, and we have done 11 episodes so far. Momentum podcast, you're seeing it right now. And other than that, Spacecast, if you're interested in space technology, do that. If you are interested in my past experiences, I do it in something that we call Torq vlogs. I talk about my past experiences over there. Other than that, there's an art of speaking going on where I talk about how to improve your speaking skills. It is on my channel, Ashish Ranjan. I also teach martial arts on my channel, Talk Talks. I'll link it all down in the description box so that you can find it. I'm extremely thankful to all the members who are supporting this channel. And if you want to become a member, you can click on the join button. You'll find more about it. Basically, you're going to get some content that other people are not able to access, but those content are available for engineer members and scientist members. Student members are just going to get a badge, because of which they can get into a community and get into a closer contact with me. But the scientist members and the engineer members are the closest to me. They are added to an Instagram group which I go through every day. Any person who's having any problem, they get it. And like telephonic consultancy is charged somewhere around 300 rupees to 600 rupees, but these members get it for free whenever they get the need. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of advantage. Basically, why I do it is because these people are super loyal. They really believe in me, and thanks to all the members, I'm extremely thankful to you guys. Okay, other than that, there's nothing else. The podcast ends over here. I'll see you next Sunday. Momentum podcast comes every Sunday. Talk and Fire podcast comes every Saturday. Spacecast podcast comes sometimes or alternate Wednesdays. And talk vlogs are supposed to come on Fridays, I think. We'll see. These are something that are not planned. The Momentum podcast, Talk and Fire podcast, and Spacecast are planned. Other than that, other comes whenever I want it to come. These are also available on audio platforms. All will be linked down in the description box if you prefer to listen to it than to watch it. That's about it, man. I've given more information than necessary. See you next time. Till then, bye.